Hi, Tabitha. Today is actually November 20th, but this is a video for November 18th. YouTube is not always reliable when it comes to setting me up live. Anyway, but I'm here now. Thank you for waiting on your video. I wanted to do something really special today and kind of different. What I want to do, um, and I hope I'm setting it up where you feel like you have a comfortable space to do this. We've only talked briefly about songwriting. What I'd like to do today is to share with you what we call a chord progression on my guitar here, um, that I'm going to play actually several times that you can then play over and over and perhaps come up with words or a melody and or just a song title, an idea. But this way you don't have to do it in front of me, Tabitha, because I know songwriting can feel really vulnerable. It can, especially since we've never done it. But I feel like it may be time just to give you a chance to get your feet wet in this. So I'm going to make up what we call a chord progression. That just means a particular order of chords. A chord is any set of notes that fit together. I mean, put very simply. Usually it's what we call a triad, which is a particular set of three notes that sound really what we call, the fancy word is consonant. That's a C major chord. Sounds very nice, sounds very calm, right, and stable. This is an E minor chord. Also sounds really nice, but mysterious, right? Some people say it sounds sad. To me, it sounds mysterious or leading or moving. That's a G major chord. This is a D major chord. So I'm going to play this chord progression of C major, E minor, G, and D. My goal is to give you something to almost like zen out with so that you can then see what happens. What I mean by that is this is the way that I often have written music, where I come up with a chord progression that I think sounds cool, that I like, and then I play it over and over until either a couple of things can happen. Either I come up simply with words, like almost a whole song comes out. I come up with a title. I come up with like a general storyline. I come up with just images. So in my brain, just images will come to me. A setting, that's, I would say like a setting. But sometimes for some people, it's just like it's certain images. I don't know, people's faces or a heart or a home or a road, right? For me, sometimes it's about like whole settings, like the mountains, right? Like, so I'm thinking in pictures. That's not always the way I always write or I always think. But the point is the chord progression. And again, this is where I come in and help, because I know you don't play guitar yet or piano, but I provide the chord progression and you just kind of like meditate on it and see what happens. Each day, though, is something different. So there are going to be times in your life where, you could pull up this video, play it, and you're going to go, not today. There's just nothing coming to me. That happens. I always say songwriting is a lot, to me, feels a lot like, not that I know anything about archaeology, but it feels a lot like archaeology would feel. It feels more like discovering than creating. Now I know we're creating, but it feels more like, "Oh, I found this. Oh, I discovered this." Well, so like in archaeology, I'm sure there are some days they go out and they're like, "We didn't find anything. We dug and I didn't find anything." Songwriting, I think it's healthy to approach songwriting that way, like an archaeologist. Like, I'm going to dig today. I have no idea what's out there. Might find something cool, might dig for days and not find anything. This to me is songwriting. Doesn't feel like that way to everybody. So I'm going to play that chord progression, C, E minor, G, D, several times. I want you simply to listen to it. You can close your eyes if you want, you don't have to. And I want you to take note of what comes to you. Again, if nothing comes to you, no big deal. Try again tomorrow. Play the video, fast forward through all my talking, go to my chord progression and play it again. See what happens day to day and just see. Okay, ready? Now, I didn't do it in the middle because I wanted this to be just something you could think along with, right? Um, but what I sometimes do is simply like hum a melody as that's playing. So I'll go. And I'll see if I like any little section of melody or a certain melodic pattern or phrase or something. Don't overthink this, Tabitha. I really just want this to be kind of fun and see what comes out of you. You're an intuitive person. You're very artistic. Um, I think this is something that you'd be really great at, but more importantly, that you would really love. Um, it's I think you were made to just to be a songwriter. Anyway, so this is a nice little again way to get your feet wet, have fun, um, ease your way into this. This is a simple way to write. I give you a few options. Um, There are worksheets, that eventually we could get into, work with songwriting prompts and things like that. But this is just one way that I've often used stuff. Um, Sometimes some people come up with words first, no chord progression at all yet. A lot of my students will bring just lyrics to me or poetry. Usually, poetry, depending on how somebody writes his poetry, I guess, has to be sort of trimmed. Um, Poetry, especially prose, can sometimes be um it's often uneven, right? So the lines are like however long you want them to be or whatever. But in songwriting, you can take those and just take like the central nugget of every line of poetry and then make it into a line. What I'm saying is in songwriting, all your lines should be pretty darn even. Okay. Now, one exception that comes to my mind, a person who's written differently and has songs that are not like that necessarily, but even then, it's even is Alanis Morissette from the '90s. She started to write a lot in prose. In other words, her verses and sometimes even her choruses did not rhyme, um, and sometimes they were almost chanted. Now, she's not the first person to like chant, her singing in a song, but um, I would say she's one of the most popular mainstream artists who really embraced. I'm just going to talk in the verses and I'm going to go to the chorus. Anyway, so people do it differently. My way is not the only way, of course. Have fun with this. I just want you to explore, listen to that section over and over, see what happens. Maybe keep a tiny songwriting journal or just like on your phone. I don't know, like in the notes section. And just write down ideas. Like I said, sometimes it's just a song title, sometimes it's just a word. I built a song once or wrote a song once, and it was literally I just thought of the word picture and then a song came from that. Sometimes, so just very intuitive, listen to yourself, have fun with it, and I'll see you next week.